My people, how we doing today? Make sure you hit the like button. It's right down there. I would very much appreciate it. And if you do, you'll automatically be entered to win this terrible first aid kit from Walmart. Make sure you check out redhillcutlery.com and then, of course, my buddies on YouTube. Satu Dave, Timbo437, and My Bad Adventures. Don't forget, we do have the 500 subscriber giveaway going on right now. I need 34 subscribers, I believe, and we can run that bad boy. If you would like to donate to the channel, you can find the info to do so in the description. Also, there will be a link for Patreon in the description. And I do have to say, guys, if any support like that is so very much appreciated, and it most definitely helps the channel. It's actually the only fund the channel has at the moment. And yeah, I know you hear YouTubers say it all the time, but it really means everything for this channel, especially because right now that's the only budget we have. I want to thank my patrons, Jeremy, Thomas, Tom, David, and Ken. You guys are awesome. Thank you so very much. And the channel thanks you as well. Also, I make strops if you guys are interested. Handmade strops. I do 2 for $40. This is the one I use a lot. I just stripped off the compound I had on it and then reinsert because I used the absolute crap out of it. So I can put more compound on it. I like to strip the old stuff off. You do not have to do that every time. I just did it because it'll help to put new compound on it, and it'll take a little better. Again, those are 2 for $40, and I will load them with compound or diamond emulsion. And I can, if you don't know how to strop, eventually I'm going to do a video about it, but I can point you to good videos. I can send you a link to a good video to get you started on how to do it. Super easy, guys. But it does take a little practice and time, and I would definitely recommend practicing on a very, very inexpensive knife. That's with stropping or sharpening. All right, so we are through that. Today, I wanted to talk about an obscure brand. Very obscure, in my opinion, but they're pretty cool. I think they're cool. This video will not get a lot of views, I'm sure, but I think it's important to shed some light on an obscure brand. A lot of you are going to know the brand. A lot of you are not. It is EOS, or Elite Outfitter Solutions. It is an American brand. They're most known for Balisong's butterfly knives, but they have a ton of models that are not. Mostly folders. They do have a couple fixed blades as well. One for sure I know. This particular guy here is called the Surgeon, and this one's heavily modified. I'll get to that. It is in CTS XHP. It's a 3 3/4 inch blade or so. They do have a micro available that is much smaller, 3.25 inch blade, but it basically looks the same as this one, has the same steel. This one is modified. The blade has been rounded down a little bit, different pocket clip on it. But other than that, it is what it should be, factory. Now, some of the models that EOS has, there's a lot. I didn't get them all listed here, but they have a couple friction folders that are pretty cool. One of them is the Urchin, and the other one is called the Prawn, Prawn. The Prawn has like D2 steel, and the Urchin uses Nitro V. Both of those are satisfactory in my opinion. Now, this is an American brand and they are made in America. I don't know the extent of that, so I'm not even gonna say something that I don't know for sure. I don't know if the parts are made somewhere else, what the degree of USA made is on this brand, but as far as I'm aware, they are 100% American. Who knows? I do not, so that's what it is. They also make a model called the Dorado S, and the Dorado. I used to have a Dorado S. The S is the smaller version. It's 3-inch blade. The Dorado is like 3 and, let's say, 3/4, just for excellent folding knife. The Dorado S is in S90V, and then the Dorado full size is CPM 154. They also make a model called the Orca. That's really rad. The Nautilus and the Nautilus Mini. I think they have an Orca Mini as well. A really wild looking knife called the Neptune. Another one called the Squid. So they got a ton of. They also have they have a ton of models that are not Bali songs. So there's just about, I don't know. There's a lot of models that, you know, you're sure to find something that you might like. Now, they do have some crazy designs. This is probably the most laid-back design that they have. You'll just have to check them out. Blade Headquarters has a ton of them in stock. DLT has a few. They take chances, and I think that's cool. They make very different styles that definitely don't follow the industry standard, which I think is awesome. And they even make titanium wallets and EDC trays and lots of EDC gear, like bid holders and pry tools, just all kinds of shit. You gotta check them out. They use a couple of exotic blade materials, or what I consider exotic. CPM S60V, which I don't know a lot about, so I'm not even going to speculate. Nitro V, CTX, XHP, S90V, S35, S30, D2, CPM 154. They even use 3V, but I think that's just exclusively on their fixed blade. They have a dagger boot knife fixed blade. It's pretty rad. Looks pretty cool. Now, when it comes to this particular knife, it's, like I said, it's called the Surgeon, SURGOGEON. Can't spell, hillbilly. I like it. It's awesome, but it does have some issues. It's right up my alley as far as you know, flat side titanium frame lock. You know, it's not super big, but it's definitely not small either. We're looking at 3 3/4 blade. I just wanted to make sure, keep them honest. I love the blade shape. That is a excellent working blade shape. This one has been rounded off in the front a little bit there. Some of the problems with it, it was a single-sided thumb stud. This belongs to Satu Dave. He made another thumb stud for the back there for finger flicking it open, which in my opinion is really the only doable way comfortably. Thumb deployment on the factory thumb stud is not very comfortable, and it is not easy to do. Also, this knife is on phosphor bronze washers. It is a Medford feel to it, so it's not super easy to flick open, you know, especially with your thumb. So, and it's very uncomfortable trying to slow roll it. That is just my opinion. You could probably polish the washers, which I have a video on that if you're interested. To smooth it out a little bit. It is not super tight, but it's just not the smoothest, and it's not real easy to deploy. So Satu Dave, he put that other thumb stud on there, I'm assuming, and it works much better. Crazy thick behind the edge. Believe it or not, though, this one's quite sharp. I haven't sharpened it. It came to me pretty sharp. It slices through phone book paper still, but man, it is ridiculously thick behind the edge. My calipers are dead. I'll try to put in the description. I'll find some batteries, get that set up, and I'll try to put in the description how thick it is behind the edge, because it is, whoo, man, oh man. But it cuts, and surprisingly, so that just is a testament to the geometry, I guess. It is like a high saber grind. I don't even know how to explain that any other way. I told you about the poor thumb stud access and deployment. Oh, there's no lock bar insert or stabilizer, which is not a big deal. But I think this knife would have been better if it had it. Because you're not getting much help from the pocket clip, which this is not a factory pocket clip, by the way. The factory pocket clip sucks. That's why this one's on here. You're not getting any help. You could easily push that over way too far. The pocket clip's not really going to stop it much. And it's not great overall execution of the knife. Very minimal hardware. That's awesome. I think that's a T10 pivot and screw, at least a T8. Sorry guys, I should have checked that beforehand, and I don't have any tools for disassembly out here. I did take it apart, cleaned it up, put it back together. Very minimal, quite easy, which is awesome. That's a cool thing. Very robust stop pin there, which you need for such a big knife. And this sucker's thick blade stock, which I like. That's no big deal. I'm going to guess and say 190 thousandths blade stock, which is nearly 3/16, basically 3/16. I'm not a mathematician, so don't quote me on any of this shit. This knife would do very well with a regrind, hollow grind. I would put a hollow grind regrind on this. Man, it would be freaking awesome then. I like the knife still, but I think it could do better with a sweet regrind. XHP is a good, stable, hard working steel, and it can handle being much thinner. Good things about it is the steel. Great materials overall. You know, it's pretty simple. Titanium, steel. The attempt was good at this knife. It has a good working design. I like the design of it. It's very straightforward, very simple. That's awesome to me. The design is very useful as a cutting tool. And it came in a lot of different colors and finishes. Some of the pocket clip was blue. Some of them had different hardware. They had black handle. They had some that had some milling in it, I believe. The Mini also did. The Mini looks pretty cool. They had some black bladed ones. Anyway, lots of options. And believe it or not, this is very much available. Blade Headquarters has a ton of these and the Minis in stock right now. They are expensive. $500 for this one, and the Mini is roughly $400. Let's say it is cheaper, but not by a whole lot. That is expensive. That's a lot of freaking money. But for an American-made knife, that's not a custom, but is most definitely mid-tech-ish, I would call it. I hate that term, mid-tech, but it is what it is. You know, they don't make a ton of them, so it's going to be inherently more expensive to make these, especially in the United States. But that's, you know, I can recommend this knife, but it does have issues. So it just depends on what you like, obviously. Oh, and I do like the accessibility for releasing the lock bar. I always do it like with my index finger. Satu Dave just talked about that the other day in one of his videos, and I very much agree with him. That's how I typically close mine, but you can access it quite easily with your thumb. I just tend to go that route with it. Anyway, I recommend it, but keep in mind it does have some issues, but it is if you want a hard-working knife that you could absolutely beat the shit out of if you wanted to, and it can handle it, this is a good choice. It could be a good choice. There is a lot of options in this price range, and I mean a lot. But if you have a lot of expendable income and you collect knives and you have a ton of them, you know, pick one up. And I do definitely recommend the Dorado or the Dorado S much more than this magnificent knife. Multiple open options. It's a flipper. I believe it's on bearings. It has thumb studs, and some of them have a insert or a hole. Either way, check them out. The brand itself is pretty cool. They are quite expensive, but you got to remember they're American made. That's all I got for you guys today. I am running out of content knives, so you might not see me for a few days. I'm working on one of my patrons is going to send me some more. I got to get a couple back to him. I'm about to send these back to Dave. I have a few of his. But guys, don't forget, I am definitely working on getting as much content knives in as possible. Do not fret. All right, guys, don't forget the giveaway, the 500 subscriber giveaway. Please, please, please push it as much as you can if you have time, if you feel like it, obviously. Because I would like to give those knives away. Get us above 500 subscribers. I never expect to reach any crazy subscriber count like Metal Complex or Neves Knives or any of them guys, nor do I care to, really. But I assure you, I very much appreciate every subscriber. Very much so. Makes me feel good, and I think that's cool. And if you like my content enough to subscribe, I do thank you. All right, guys, I will see you in a day or two. You have a fantastic rest of your weekend. Later.